make us ever mindful of the needs of others and those around us. These things we ask in your name. Amen. Amen. All right, now I now turn the meeting over to Bill Henry, who is the Association of County Commissioners.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let me begin by introducing myself. As the Chairman said, I'm Neil Emery with the North Carolina Association of County Commissioners. I'm retired as a county manager, so I feel a little uncomfortable with my back to the Board of Commissioners, but we'll get through that tonight. What our purpose is, and what my purpose is to help sort of facilitate the discussion of the issue we're here to talk about. That's the future of your community center and the services the county might provide here. I want to make sure to stress from the beginning, this isn't going to be your standard meeting where one person at a time gets up and gives their opinion. What we want are opportunities for everybody in smaller groups to have a chance to voice their opinion and have a discussion between the groups of community citizens about what they see the future and how the services provided here in the community might be optimized. I want to point out a couple of housekeeping things. One, you received, hopefully you'll take the opportunity to fill out the survey that was provided to you when you came in. That's valuable information for county staff and for the board as they consider these issues. Please take the time to do that. Second, I'm hoping at each table, if you don't, we'll make sure each table, as we break up into groups, get this of two central questions we're going to talk about in a moment that we're going to concentrate on in our discussion this evening. But the real format is going to be, one, the Board of Commissioners, they're going to just be here to listen. Their role is to receive input, and that's why it's a community meeting to get your feedback and your input. So this is your meeting this evening. And I hope everyone in the room tonight takes the opportunity to let your voice be heard in regards to this issue in the community and the services that might be provided here. And how we're going to do this is we're going to break up into smaller groups. There's going to be a county staff person that's going to be there to take notes for you, for the group, so no one's having to take these notes. But what we're going to do is let each group talk about the questions that are before you. Everyone have a chance to have their input. These folks are going to take notes. They're going to take down your thoughts, and then at the end of the evening, we're going to come back together and report back, and then try to focus in and have a discussion about what are the most important priorities as a group that we see for this evening. So, like I said, this is about your meeting this evening, your opportunity to have input. Let me read these two questions so you can start thinking about these things in your mind and what we're going to be talking about. Not saying these are limited with these two, but in a broad sense, for the table discussions, is what county-run programs / activities do you want offered in the community? There's already probably services provided, but what kind of activities and programs do you think it's important to have in this community where it's accessible here? And second, what private activities are held in the community for which a facility is needed? So there's the need of the services from the county, but then there's also the need of a facility to house services and private functions you may have here in the community. So those are just two broad sense of the ideas and direction we want to go this evening. What I want to do though is begin by, we're going to have to do a little housekeeping here about breaking up into groups. And I'm going to look and see if we said we were going to have 4, but I think we can expand to 5 to try to make them a little bit smaller. I want to say on timetable, we have no timetable this evening. As long as this discussion takes, we want to be here for the thoughts and input. As an old retired county manager, I've been to beach till 1 and 2 in the morning, so time don't bother me. I'm not sure about y'all, you may not want to hear, but it's not something I'm not used to. So we're going to take the time it takes, and again, it's so important, and I just can't encourage enough. At each table, give everyone the opportunity to have their thought and have their say. That's why I think I've done this for a lot of years, and smaller groups are just, some people don't like to get up and talk in front of a big group. Some people feel more comfortable sitting down in a small group, and that's why we wanted to foster this approach and approach it this way to give everyone a chance. Because everybody's coming from a different perspective this evening, and we want that input and that feedback. Again, don't have to worry about anybody taking notes. There'll be somebody there to help each group, and then at the end we're going to report back and see if we can come to some consensus. There won't be all answers tonight, We know that, but good information that can be utilized by the board as they address this going forward. So with that, I think we already have 2 tables back here in this corner. Who's going to be assigned to this group? The county person will be assigned there. And then if I could get the table here in the middle and one back in this corner, if they could come together, that would be great. I know it may take a little shifting, but we'll take a moment and do a little shifting around. And then maybe these 2 tables right here come together. That'd be a 3rd group. And then we have 4 or 5. We can keep y'all to yourself. So we have the 2 here, 2 there, these 2 come together, and then 4 and 5. That work? And then we're going to have someone come to your table. Like I said, these 2 questions, I encourage someone to sort of raise your eyes and start to discuss.
Oh, I'm sorry. You got it. Let's see. There's agenda. I think we have one more agenda. Are y'all together? Okay. There you go. And we're shuffling now. Okay. Just walk in.
If we get settled in now, we'll let someone come to the table. Who's got which table?
We can get a couple of
Pick a
chairs.
table.
We can get a couple of
Stand
chairs.
side.
Get you over here.
Okay.
We can pull some extra money and like, what did you do?
Take a group. Just pick a group. Okay.
Yeah, we'll be back.
Where'd he go? Got someone back here for this?
You came to that one? Okay. Either one.
And one thing I'm going to let me note one thing, the Board of Commissioners are going to try to stay out of your discussions because this is your meeting to talk. Not that they want to come talk to you, but they want to let this be your conversation about what you need to communicate. Okay, who's going to have this group up here?
Tim.
Okay.
And then I'll be here.
Okay. Any questions before we get started?
Another pattern.
Yes, ma'am.
Just so I'm clear, we're to take these 2 questions and brainstorm. Question 1, question 2.
And don't limit yourself to that. If there's other things you have on your mind, please note them on that list as well. Those are sort of just to be guiding questions to start the discussion. And if you do have any questions, just raise your hand. We'll be happy to come to you and try to clarify the picture. I'm sure y'all can take this wherever you need to go.
Well, I was thinking
We'll just keep an eye on how long you feel like it takes. Let us know.
well, I'm not that.
All right, I'll go ahead and start. I feel like we're going to tear down the gym, and we need to build a new one. So, yeah, I feel like it's valuable.
Go over here, you're right.
Tear down the gym. That's all right, yeah.
Okay, if we can, if everybody wants to find their place, we'll get ready to get started. I hope each group's felt like they've had opportunity, everyone, to have their voice heard, and it sounds like it's been a good discussion among the groups, and I think we can expect to see some duplication on our list, but at the same time, I think we'll get new ideas from each group. But, so to begin, what I'm going to do is, I think each one has assigned a spokesperson or anointed someone to speak for their group. And that person would just take us through their list. You don't have to give us a 30-minute speech about each one, but just the highlights of the things you see as priorities. And then once we go through each group, then we'll start talking about how to prioritize those of the entire group. So with that, I'm going to start back here in the corner, spokesperson there, and I'll ask you to introduce yourself.
Okay.
You probably know each other. But
All right, my name is Kyle Wyckoff. I'm the youth pastor of Laurel Hill Baptist Church down here. And so I do kind of have a unique perspective around the youth of our community. We use the gym a lot. To make a long story short, I have to leave in 5 minutes, so.
You can talk 5 minutes.
Make it short and sweet. If you tear down the building, that's fine, but we would like another multi-purpose building put up, like the one in Wagram. That'd be great, and we have no problems with that. So that's our main objective from our group that we have come up with. I know if you do have a new community building, you're going to have a whole lot more people come to be a part of that, because the current situation, I don't know who's been kicking the can down the road, but it's been quite a while that it hasn't been taken care of like it's capable of being taken care of. So if we had a new facility, it will be used, and it'll be used by this community and surrounding communities as well. So that's what we came up with. So having said that, I'm going to drop the mic. And I will
Does anybody in the group want to talk about the services you'd like to see at that facility? Say if you talk, the discussion you had around things you'd like, if you built that multi-purpose facility, what would you like to see in it? You want to just list them out? Go ahead, just list those.
These are the ones, of course, this reflects what Mr. Wyckoff just said, but there was one comment about needing help with Laurel Fest, needing more electrical outlets there, that need public restrooms at walking track, need lighting at the walking track, just general upgrades at the walking track. Keep the volleyball and basketball going. I think the consensus of the group was that concentrate on what's currently going on and keep it going.
Amen.
That was a consensus there. They wanted to ensure the library book exchange and the nutrition site for the seniors would still be here.
Okay.
Did I represent that well?
Yes.
Yes. Let me clarify, by multi-purpose building, you mean one that could host athletic events as well as
Yes.
Yeah, because they want the nutritional sites and all of that, educational rooms as well as athletics and sports.
Anybody else in that group want to comment on those, or is that sort of summarize?
Well, I think we did a meeting place as we're seeing here. We don't have a place the community can meet when we need something done. And I assume that when they tear everything down, we're going to lose our polling place for the elections. I don't know how that's going to work out. And as far as the nutrition site is being used to presently today, it really needs to be upgraded because it's not handicap accessible very, very well, and the restrooms are in pretty bad shape.
Okay.
So just maintenance and upgrades.
And it's a public meeting space,
Yes.
the need there. Okay? Let's go to this table. People say they just want to get you out of the way.
Yeah, I know that. I'm Billy Norris. I grew up here. I actually grew up in walking distance from the gym right now. I used it when I was here, my son's age. Monique, some of the other people that I grew up with, we used it. And so I know as far as how much it is getting used. And with the kids now, how much they were using it. I coach Little League basketball, I coach soccer, so I know how many kids is going through that gym right now. Okay? So can't nobody say it's not getting used. It's not used right this second, but it will. Okay? Miss Baldwin right there, I ride by 3 days a week and watch her walking on that track with somebody. 3 days a week I watch Miss Baldwin. And I ride sometimes just to make sure she's okay. Okay? I'll follow her sometimes just to watch her, make sure she's okay. But some of the stuff that I think, and now that we're not using the gym, we've actually been practicing in weight. First time I've been to weight room since they built it. And that was 2 weeks ago. And I'm telling you, it's top notch, in my opinion. I love it. I mean, if we can get something like that or close to that, I'm happy. And I think a lot of the people in here would be happy. I know a lot of people probably haven't been to the one in weight room. But the stuff on our list is pretty much to be used the Same thing that they using at Wagram. All this could be done at Wagram if, and I think the Laurel Hill people would utilize it a lot more. Not saying anything against Wagram, but I know our Laurel Hill people are passionate and they would use it, okay, for the things that, some of the things that we got listed on. I got like sports skills camp we could use, biking and walking and skating. I use our family bikes up there probably 10 times this summer. Passed Miss Baldwin multiple times, like I said. I know the family across the street, the rappers, they go skating up there, roller skating. I watch them up there using it. Maybe some dance classes. Donald B. said he would like to meet some women. Summer camps, winter camps, tutoring, literacy classes. I also really love the fitness exercise center that Wagram has. I think that would be tremendous for the older generation in our community. That could help them stay in shape. That is awesome they have that, and that would be something that I know we would use. Our library exchange, Mr. Alford did an awesome job with that. Mike did an awesome job with that, and it was being used. He's here now, he can tell you people were using that. That was in the middle section of where the gym was. So that was something that I know he put a lot of effort into that would be used again. Basketball, tennis courts, like I said, basketball and indoor soccer, they're definitely using. I know we lost our tennis courts, maybe yoga, and the playground could do some upgrades on it. We definitely could have a little bit of upgrades on it. I know North Laurinburg got it, and I did speak with Brian. Brian said that there's a multi-year purpose thing going on. Not Brian, Jeff, I'm sorry. And he said that over time, that all the playgrounds are going to get upgraded. Club meetings, Law Fest. The Law Fest could meet there. We're now currently meeting in the church. And the Baptist Church does good about letting us use their spot. That would be great for us to be able to meet there. We also use that park for our festival every year as well. So we definitely need something, bathrooms and stuff that we could use, facilities that people could go in. Older people that are hot, they don't have to leave, they can go cool down. Singings, we could also have something up there if we had a gym that we could maybe do some singings in as well. Holiday events, banquets. Right now, I coach a little league football team. We don't have nowhere to have a banquet. They don't have no Laurel Hill. We're thinking about Wagram, but all the people are right here local, so we have to drive all the way. We don't have nowhere to have a banquet. I had to call Opie Swells for Multitudes to see if I could use the Carver gym, which he's going to charge me to use for my little kids to have a banquet for their football team. Okay, that's embarrassing. Okay. Family reunions, we could do it there. Weddings, birthday parties, which we have. I've been to multiple birthday parties at that gym. Baby showers, community cookouts, we've had plenty of them up there that we use for as well. We use the little rooms for that. I think some of the older people would love to have a bingo, maybe some bingo nights we could do there. I would enjoy that as well. Movie nights that they're doing in Laurinburg, I think we could use in Laurel Hill as well. We've actually tried to maybe think about incorporating that with our Law Fest. Miss Connie and us have been talking about that as well. Fundraising site we could use it for, which we've had to use downtown that didn't have anywhere to go in to use the bathroom. Miss Connie has had bake sales downtown. Be a great place to have one there. Life skills classes, gardening. Like I said, Mike's done that too as well. That would be good. Arcade, maybe a game room. I mean, just the basic stuff that our community would use. And Wagram is pretty much what all this is all doing. Just about everything.
So you go back somewhat to the multi-purpose use space.
Yeah, and I'm okay with tearing the gym down, and I'm okay with tearing everything. But I definitely don't want it to be torn down and us not having anything in Laurel Hill. Because there's too many people in the Laurel Hill community not to have somewhere to go.
That's right.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we've got to have something for them to do. It's hard for us to drive all the way. Right now, we're only practicing, and the bad thing is the kids are suffering right now. He practiced one time. He's practiced 2 times, and we got a scrimmage game on Saturday. And the gyms are packed. There's nowhere for us to practice. There's not so much time after school. You know, I mean, he's only practiced 2 times, so it's taken away from him actually being able to practice and play because there's nowhere else for him to go. Wagram and Sycamore Lane. Now they're starting to use Laurel Hill, I think, as well. But I mean, it's just there's nowhere else for them to go to practice.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
this group over here. Who's speaking for this
Good afternoon. Good evening. I'm Hazel McFadden, and I'm from the Laurel Hill Corporate Extension Service. Want to start out by saying we do use the building over here during the summer, at least 3 months during the summer. Serve about over 300 kids during the summer, making sure that they have a good meal, making sure they're safe, making sure they learn something about life skills, and we have kids coming from all over that come in. It's free of charge. We do that during the summer. We also do the kids during, if they spring break, we use the Laurel Hill Center for that also. And we have about 70 kids come to that. So we have been using the Laurel Hill Center already, and we would hate to see it to go, because now I'm looking for somewhere for my kids to go during the summer. And one of the things that we looked at was like somewhere for the Parks and Rec for the children to do softball programs, more locations for local Laurel Hill athletes. I'm trying to be. Concerned with making more service available as Laurel Hill is not incorporated. Computer classes, after-school programs, more services for the elderly, Meals on Wheels, library, computer classes, GED program, health screening, and to have something like the weight room. Why not here? So I can read that. Okay. Want to have understanding of how the facility is currently being used. That was one of the things that I wanted to make sure everyone knew how it's being used already. Just to offer more activities and one of the main things that I think is a lack of communication. What the gym is being, the facility is being used as. It's already being used for a lot of things, but no one knows. And I don't know why the lack of communication is there, but we need more communication to know what it's being used for already. And we could use it for a site for parties, reunions, baby showers. If the site is torn down, what happens with the ground or the area? And one of the side questions were, why were the tennis courts torn down? Why doesn't the county commission visit Laurel Hill more? And was the nutrition site going to be torn down?
Okay, so a lot of your discussions had like athletic was part of it, but a bigger part about education and health needs.
Nutrition center is part of
They all about our corner register also. I think the main thing is we agree with like Billy, but in the real estate part of it, I think what we have now is probably not safe, not where our senior citizens, handicapped or anything. I think renovations would be way more costly than a new center, but my thing is not to tear it down and leave the vacant land, give our community something to use and our kids something to use.
So back to the multi-purpose, flexible space in the community. Okay? Your comments, thoughts? Go up here this day. Where do you go? Oh, okay, you go.
My name's Jeff Shelley. Lived here all my life. This thing probably would have been torn down a lot of years ago if it wasn't for a group of us, Miss Connie, Mr. Leon, my mother Nancy Shelley. They wanted to take this building down way back yonder. So I'm giving you kudos for keeping it where it is right here today. Again, we don't care if the whole facility is taken down. We want a big enough facility for sports and classrooms, maybe even bigger room, and I'll explain why I say that. I'm piggybacking on a lot, sports for youth. Again, you know, sports have been taken out of Laurel Hill. I mean, I helped build Lions Park. You know what I'm talking about, Mr. Leon. My dad started Laurel Hill Bears. They're not here no more. So this is the last of our youth as far as sports is concerned to be a part of here in Laurel Hill. As far as youth programs, you know, we'd like to see some tutoring in some of these classrooms. Of course, the summer field that's been doing it again, and then the senior nutrition that's in there now. Meals on Wheels, Bible studies, book exchange, which I think is in there now. You know, exercise. Our seniors, I've had several people say they'd love to have some kind of exercise room that would be accommodated to seniors. Clinics, you know, financial classes, safety classes, health classes, that kind of thing. We even said, you know, I don't know if we could do a building, but we'd love to have some kind of shooting range. That may be a little.
You may have to check with the neighbor.
Hey, I'm just reading. As far as private stuff, you know, family reunions, you know, churches now rent the gym. Fundraisers, Laurel Fest was the main one, you know, as far as festivities. Holiday events. Didn't realize that, you know, a lot of churches, they're not big enough for funerals that could possibly be done. Of course, birthday parties, anniversary parties, festivals, and singing. Our last, I guess, our deal, time is of the essence. We don't want this to be a 10-year project. We feel like once the last piece of rubble is moved, the next day, we need to see somebody coming in starting with a foundation.
Amen.
We feel like if the land stays vacant very long, we'll have trouble with gangs. You know, the big question too, the programs that are there now, what will happen to these programs while a facility is being built? What will happen to those? And that goes in with this, with the senior feeding and stuff like that. So there was concern about the programs that exist now. What will be done?
What would happen?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. Last but not least. Yes, sir.
My name's Leon Butler. Lived in Laurel Hill all my life. Graduated Laurel Hill High School. So, I would like to echo some of the things that Jeff has said and a couple people about my multiple purpose building for us. I don't think any of us, if you really have any real ties or misgivings about the existing buildings up there, we know they are, Father Time has took care of those buildings. So we're expecting, or I am at least, if they're removed, that we put something back in its place that would have enough facility in it to have all the things that we've talked about. I'm probably going to piggyback on some of the stuff that they've talked about, but we talked about a new voting precinct. It's down in the 3 buildings down in there. Feeding program, I got to give Hazel lots of credit because she does a fantastic job of that with cooperative extension. The book exchange is down in the other building. It could be moved into a new facility. The gym, I don't know what we need to do there. If we need a new one, or is that repairable? You guys have to make that decision. I'd like to see a new one, but I think we could live with the existing gym there as long as it is up to date and been refurbished and up to code with energy and so forth. Because with the gym, we can play volleyball, basketball, and the new one on the market is pickleball, the ladies. I see them downtown playing out at a tennis court, and at one point, they were playing in weight room, is that right? But the weight room gym is not air conditioned, so they had to leave. They got some senior activities, we want to talk about that. We could set up a computer lab, like the library has, and let people come in and use computers, teach them how to do it, so. Playground improvements, I think that's been mentioned earlier. for the walking tracks and Laurel Fest outdoor bathrooms at some point. And then cooking, and we got parenting classes, lots of repair on the baseball fields. We need to get those up to snuff. And possibly disaster relief. If we were to have a bad hurricane or something, this building would be conducive for us to use. Having said all of that, then we made a list of private stuff. This is where you rent it, I guess, isn't that right, John? Family reunions, home improvement classes, concerts, softball, baseball, kitchen, games. We even talked about a farmer's market. Got plenty of room to have one up here. Be good to have. Senior citizens gathering for the bingo, those kind of things. But I don't think I can stress enough that we need a facility in Laurel Hill. We have no way to generate revenue. As you know, we are unincorporated community, pretty good sized community. I'll tell you this, I tell people, if you don't live in the city limits of Lawrenceburg, Gibson, or Wagram, you can Laurel Hill. Because I see some of them in the paper, and I know they ain't Laurel Hill, and they don't be Marston. But it's a big, it's very big. But that's kind of what I think this group is here tonight for, is to present to you what we think we can live with, what you can provide for us, and we would be appreciative. And I want to take a minute too to thank you guys for coming, because it was for you to have your meeting here and come and visit with us. We really appreciate it.
I think everyone's had the opportunity to report, so if it's all right, then I want to try to go back through and sort of summarize what I took away from this, and we'll sort of then start talking about priorities and what you see is most important to you, and just open it up for input in that regard. But the first thing that stood out to me from my position is you just really want a space that's usable in the community, whether it's old facility, new facility, having a community space is the priority. And you have no issue with it. If it's deemed that it's best to tear that down, but you just would like to see a replacement. And I heard have a plan in place how that process would work. So that's the one thing, is having a planned approach to providing, for this community, providing community space. Then it becomes, what is that community space, I think, is where, and I think if I remember right, every group here noted athletic, I believe, and the need, interpreted the need for an actual gym. I don't refer to it as a gym, but for athletic space. Was that a consensus of every group that needed to be athletic space on that side?
Yeah.
In the format of a gym where you could have recreational leagues. So I want to make sure it's clear on that. The second thing I heard was about multi-purpose space that was very flexible, where you could use it from an educational program to use it for a family reunion. Flexible space. Is that what we're hearing? Also, in the outdoor, we didn't, different groups touched on that. I know there's been athletic, but it's just my look at it, it's not been lots spent or kept on site improvements in athletic fields. Is that something, I didn't hear every group talk about that. I could, some places have practice fields, some places have competitive fields. What's the...
Well, we brought up to be part of the Parks and Rec.
Right. Okay.
So we wanted to be able to, if they wanted to rotate games around, they could.
So you'd like to see that, this group would like to see that.
Yeah.
On the side.
Inclusion on Park and Rec.
Other groups, any other groups feel strongly about?
Football field.
The only football field is Legion Park.
And it's falling apart.
There's plenty of room for a football field, and it's run by Parks and Rec. Every football team in the county needs to have one field. That'd be good to be able, like you said, be able to get incorporated back in with Parks and Recreation where we are using those fields, and maybe put a football field.
And why I'm trying to ask about these priorities, I mean, I'm not, this board of commissioners ultimately has to prioritize resources, but when you start putting lights on ball fields versus buildings square footage of community space, that's the decisions that have to be made. And I can tell you one thing, lights are not cheap.
Well, and
That must be why we only have one.
the biggest
$250,000 for a high school
The
light.
biggest thing though is there's no place to practice.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, I would love to see some game played in Laurel Hill. I will make it, this is my own personal thing. I'd make a compromise in the fact, if some of the teams could come back to Laurel Hill, that's what we did when I was growing up, and then we went to Longburg and kicked their butts.
Yeah.
But there's no place, I mean, you know, even whenever I coached Laurel Hill Bears, we had to practice at Laurel Hill Methodist. And if there was just some kind of field that resembled a football field, because you get kids whenever they're 8 and 9, you know, yeah, they watch it on TV, but they don't understand the dynamics and something that they visibly see. That helps, along with the baseball field and softball field.
Like I say, it's all accumulative. So I hear some groups talk about athletic facilities outdoors, and then, okay. So we talked about nutrition science and that type of thing, and then, because then you start thinking about improvements to provide like kitchens and, I know commercial kitchens versus cater kitchens, all those things, big difference in cost. So, but y'all see like serving at that, like the nutrition side seems to be a priority to keep that active.
It is.
We see a food preparation room, that's
So
what.
the nutrition side.
They don't do cooking there.
No, they don't do, they bring that in.
It'll be delivered.
And then I heard talk about family reunions and community fundraisers, all the things that are like,
Patty, is that kitchen good enough for you, like that guy right here charging time? Or guys want a better kitchen?
They don't have
They got
a kitchen
kitchen
over there, really.
Yeah.
The food's delivered.
yeah, food's good.
But they could put a warming section
Well, I know the one in
in
Waverly.
the area that if we could get a kitchen.
Well, just tear it down, put us another, as long as it don't take you 5 years.
You just want a nutrition side.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't wanna take you.
And then I heard talk about a polling place, to keep the polling place in the community somewhere. I mean, polling places can be a lot of places, but that's important, so. So what I'm hearing is a multi-purpose building that's very flexible, that's uses from athletic uses to educational uses. I could see what I'm hearing you say, vision where cooperative extension might have classes there, community college might have classes there, library exchange, I heard you talk about that, having a presence there. So it sounds like a very flexible space. Yeah, Bloodmobile making a stop there, so.
I think one of those ideas with Leon's group was the disaster place, like for somebody to be able to go. I mean, I haven't thought about that. That's important. You know, I mean, now I know that the fire department just upgraded their generator for us to be able to, some people would go there, but it's not that big. Disaster relief place, that would be good too.
Well, I'm sure the county has shelters that are approved.
I think another thing, is just to highlight, because we're unincorporated, the sheriff's department satellite, you know, to have the presence of law enforcement up here is extremely important. I think our citizens, you know, want that, and we want to have that relationship with law enforcement. So definitely law enforcement, the sheriff's department satellite, EMS type satellite office.
Yeah.
I know sometimes communities have a place where at least the law enforcement can stop and, you know, do paperwork or take a break, just to have a presence. And that reminds me of something I heard too about how important in this is the wellness and having some type of facility to promote healthy living and wellness and exercise.
And that's what the summer program is. We do health and nutrition for young people. And anytime during, like I said, during the school year, when children are out, that's what we do. And when we do those health and fitness classes, we teach them how to do healthy snacks, where you exercise with them, kickboxing, dance, whatever, to get them up and moving. Go use the playground. They walk the track every morning. Every morning. Not one morning, I know 9 weeks, every morning they walk the track. So we focus on health and fitness and life skills.
Okay.
We did that for seniors too.
So, coming back, I know there's a lot of things up here on the walls and some great ideas, and I'm just trying to bring our conversation, talk about them individually, and try to put them in. It sounds like this is going to be a discussion, Dean, to plan back to the board to think about the concepts of how to proceed on this, because it's going to take drawing that, or looking at that space and comparing what it would incorporate and what it would take in. Having your input is what's so important, but it just sounds to me like a very flexible space. Improve some of the on-site things like the walking trail and safety issues might be related to that. Second, to make sure the nutrition site stays, the polling place stays, there's space for the library exchange, but then in use space, making sure there's athletic space and multi-purpose space. Is that sort of what they're drilling down to and really is important?
Yes.
And the issue of the building itself, that's not the issue of the bricks and mortar that are here, but rather that there's a plan for where you go when the bricks and mortar are gone.
And we like to have a pretty place. I want to go to the building.
I'm not from here. Who built Waverly?
I don't know.
Do they have a plan? Okay.
But I mean, that's a pretty building.
Yeah.
We want a nice looking building.
I understand that. Do you have a community garage? You want a nice
We want one to look like that.
Yes, ma'am.
What do you think the timeframe would be for putting in a useful facility? Because some of us don't have much time left.
There's so many factors.
Drag out 5 or so years.
No, I don't think we drag out that long.
Well, if you said, well, I'm not going to speak for the county, but I as an old county manager, if you said, do it to start tomorrow, you're looking 18 months to 2 years. Because you got to finance it, you got to do the plans, you got to get the plans approved by everyone's involved, you got to go to bids, you got to award bids. I'm not here to argue about it, I'm just judging the facts. I did it 30 years, so.
That water company went up quick and fast, and the ground will clean quick and fast. So if that's the case, we can get our building up quick and fast.
Okay, well, what do I know?
That's what we see.
Maybe you can put it up a week and a half. I don't know.
On the building up there, what would be the time frames? Because we wouldn't want it to run in with the time that we have to log it.
Now, I'll have to defer to somebody else on the time frame of the space, because I'm not privy to that.
At this point in time, we don't have an executed contract, so.
Okay. So
What he's asking is, we have our Laurel Fest every year on Mother's Day weekend. We definitely not want, if you guys decide to tear it down, we definitely not want kids running around with bulldozers up there, and the next thing you know, we can't even have a place with this.
No, that's one of the things, if we go forward with it, that the events we know that are happening, we don't want your kids playing when we have bulldozers running around either.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's something that would have to be determined and worked out.
Well, I don't think it'll take that long to construct it, because I think we can get people to build Dollar General.
They're spending their own money. We had their money, we could build it. I want to open the floor to any other thoughts. I know we've had a lot of great ideas. I think we talked about, I know that this evening's purpose is not for the board, but for you to give your input. I think that a lot of this we're going to take and put together in a list of those things that's seen as needed in the community. I know the county will be communicating back with the community about where you go from here and strategies you go from here. Again, I think when I used to do this for a living. People say, how do you stand all this disagreement? I said, that's the beauty of democracy. We can all come together, we agree and disagree, and that's the way it's supposed to work. And meetings like this is what makes this country what it is. So we come together and talk about things like this and decide for ourselves what's best for us. So I appreciate your participation. I want to recognize Representative Pearson, right? Who joined us.
I got one more
Yes, sir.
question. One more question. Now, you sat here tonight, and you heard all of our requests, I guess, what I'm saying. And you can see how the group itself is pretty much unified in what we need and where we need it and this. I just hope that you guys, I'm talking to the Board of Commissioners, that you give us a time frame of what you plan to do. So that we'll know that you are gonna help us out with this project. You can't do it tonight, I understand, but I hope you will give us a time frame.
Do you want to open it up for discussion for us? First of all, I want to thank all of you for coming. Leon and I have talked.
Speak up, John.
Okay. I want to thank all of you for coming, and we were talking to Leon, and he said, you know, I hope we have more than 10 people. Well, you made us proud up here. And I want to tell you, as far as I'm concerned, as your commissioner, the process has already begun. We have already contracted to take down a couple of the buildings, not the gym. So we've already contracted to have that taken down. And so the process has already begun. And I agree with Mr. Shelley here. This doesn't need to be for our grandchildren and great-grandchildren. It needs to be for us now. And it won't take years to do this. It will not.
Thank you.
Because there are contractors out there who are hungry. And if you tell them when you have to have it, like the Board of Education, they tell the contractors, even though it's a $25 million building, we need it next year. And they make it happen. And this board is committed to put a building here, and you have already told us that you will use it and that you need it. And we believe that. And we hear you. Now, it's going to take us a while to come to a consensus as a board, you know, on everything. And Kevin's going to have to do his due diligence to get an architect and those kinds of things. But I believe I can say this, and I believe the board will concur with me. The process has begun. Thank you.
Just to thank everybody for coming tonight. A much larger crowd than I anticipated. We should have charged admission. But, you know, I just echo what John said, that things have already been turning. And from what I've heard, maybe we all heard something different, but what I heard was a site rebuilt there, something similar to Waveland, if not identical to it. And to keep the services you have there plus more, involving Parks and Rec more in this area, directly in this area, other than, you know, having to go to Weinberg or wherever for the things. So, with that said, because I was concerned that a lot of folks had a tie to the gym or whatever and didn't really want to see it go. And while I think that, I understand that, I don't, after being in that gym several times now, I don't think it's practical. Because I think we could patch it and it lasts another 10 or 15 years, but then we're right back where we are right now. So, We did have a proposal that we approved to remove all of it, with the exception of the little building down where the nutrition, the site is done now. Am I wrong in that, Kevin, that, was that not what we had already approved? So in this, I'll make the motion. I'm not afraid to do it. You don't know that by now. I'll make the motion, since I made the motion to put that contract on hold, I'll make the motion right now to reopen that, to go ahead and begin that process, so when we do come to the consensus of what needs to be put there completely and how we're going to do it, a weight room or whatever, the site's ready to go. And we'll look at it from there, and maybe take out the old plans for the weight room site and look at, maybe we can adjust that and not have to spend the money on the architect or whatever. And, I mean, you still got a site plan and all that good stuff, but, so, with that said, that's my motion.
Let's do it, Mr. Chairman.
I'll just echo, I've been told I don't speak very loud, but I hope you can hear me. Thank you for coming. You have exceeded my expectations. I think we've got over 50 people here, and that is a huge turnout. I think the commitment by the board, we do have the commitment to provide flexible space, athletic space, wellness space, health and recreation for the citizens in the area of Laurel Hill. And the process has started. We've actually gone and looked at other facilities around in South Carolina and here in North Carolina to see what's being done in other places. So we've started our homework. So the board is committed to doing something here in Laurel Hill. A time frame is really hard to establish. There was even a conversation about building something first so that you could keep what you've got and then tearing down what's here. So there's a lot of logistics that have to be worked out before we go forward as to what we're going to do. First is, where do you want it? I mean, where is the best location for a multi-purpose building? Is it
Right here.
That's right.
I don't know. I mean, that's why you get consultants in to say you've got to think about parking, you've got to think about traffic. So, but we're committed to the process, and we want to do it right. We don't want to do it and make a mistake and have to go back and make it better. We want to do it right. So I'm just going to ask for your trust in us. Keep telling us what you want. We will in turn give you the information you need to know how it's moving forward and what the time frame is, because you deserve that. It is your tax dollars that are going to be spent to make this happen, and we want to do it right. So as for, you know, it's a now project. It's not a 5-year project. It's now. Doesn't mean it'll be sitting here next year this time, but it is a project for the present, and that is what we are committed to doing, because the need is here, and we've seen that, and we are, like I say, it is underway in conversation and with our activities and looking at what's being done in other places. But thank you for being here. I'm impressed and I'm pleased that we've got over 50 people sitting here in this room.
Yeah, first I just want to say to you, I thank everybody for being here. I think that's quite an impressive crowd. I think I appreciate particularly some comments from 3 or 4 of you, Dina being one, 2 or 3 others, about it probably would cost more to fix what you've got than it would take to tear it down and build something better. Amen. So I'm one who thinks getting rid of what you've got is probably the best plan to do. I've got a couple of questions if it's appropriate, and that is if we went forward with executing the contract to remove what we've currently got, can that be done before Mother's Day?
Yes.
Yes, both, yes.
Yes.
And with that in mind, I'm going to second Tim's motion.
Before we vote on that, I'll say a few words, if you will. Talking about tearing it down or remodeling or whatever, we've got some figures on just renovating what's up there. And it comes to about almost $800,000 to fix the mess that's up there. when you could probably take, and I'm sure it cost more than what Wagram cost, back then it was around close to $1 million. But if you spend $700,000 on renovation, you still got an old dilapidated mess that it's not up to standard. So I am for one committed to tearing the nest down, putting it on the ground, and rebuilding something. And this is not something that we just started in the last 2 weeks. It's something we've talked about for several months now. Back in our planning session last year, it was that we would have this type of meeting. We could get together with the communities, not only Laurel Hill, but around the county, to see what the needs were. And I, for one, am committed, and this board is committed, to building something back in Laurel Hill. And not, as Jeff said, I don't want a Butler building. I want something that looks nice and something that's practical for all of us to use. And Mark, he mentioned the Bears. His dad and myself, all these kids from Laurel Hill in the back of our trucks to Laurinburg to play football. So I know a little bit about the recreation end of Laurel Hill. So like Billy, I've coached all of it up in this gym. So I am committed to doing something good and nice for Laurel Hill. And now with motion and a second, before we do that, thank all of you for coming and for your input. Tim's motion, and you, Jason, bring it together.
I got it. Yep.
All right, and all in favor of that motion, let it be known as saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. No.
Okay, going back to Tim's, there is some sentimental, notion to the building, but as it's torn down, is there any way that some of us could get a brick, a cornerstone, or anything that we could talk about sentimental value?
How much money you got?
Get anything you want.
I don't know why it would be a problem. I mean, you know, I know some people said they wanted a chair out of the auditorium. I don't know what it takes involved to get one of those chairs up. But personally, I'm not going in that auditorium.
We're working on getting this swimming.
Because it's quite a bit of a moldy mess. And so I don't think safety wise, it would be safe for someone to go in there and do that. I don't know.
Pictures be taken to kind of address the new building on the inside as a remembrance of, I mean, from then to now to the future.
Janet, for your question, I would say yes, if the contractor, I believe Bo is the one that's got that contract, if he says it's good for you to get you a break, you get a break. If he says no, then you'd be liable.
Mr. Chairman, if anybody wants anything out there, just give it to me, and I'll be glad to help them with it. As long as it don't, as long as it ain't gonna take 2 or 3 days to get it out. Like something simple, I mean, just get with me while I'm on the job. And, but I would ask nobody to go up there on the job as it's being torn down, because it can be really, really dangerous.
Just one thing that I wanted to say to everybody, because it was important for me that after, that initial vote in October, maybe we did that about demolition and the response that I got, and, almost had to buy the phone over it. I appreciate it. Don't be afraid to do that. This is a very good example of how local government works for everybody.
That's one question, how are we gonna know what's going on with the steps, voting, when you're gonna be, how are you gonna communicate?
All right, well, first of all, let me address that by saying that we cannot meet without it being open to the public. So never ask the question, can I go to that meeting? There's a few very small scenarios when we have to meet in a closed session, but that has to be a very small thing. So never ask that question. Jason is always there to call. He knows, he manages all this and agendas and all that stuff. And if all else fails, you can't get there. We have the Scotland County YouTube channel now that broadcasts every meeting, including this one tonight. It's put on to the YouTube. It'll be on the YouTube the next day. And you can sit there and watch it. If you can't hear it, it's closed captions for you so you can read it. And go that way. But I just want to say I thank you for all the calls that I got, because I see a lot of the calls that I got are simply just written. But it worked the way it should. We'll be informed.
Billy, by answering your questions, all you gotta do is come to the meetings, or, as Tim said, look at it on YouTube.
All decisions that we make will have to be made in an open meeting on the first Monday of the month with at least 4 of us present.
Yeah, but see, yeah, I'm on channel too.
I mean, I understand your frustration.
No, I mean, I'm not frustrated. I like when we have practice on Monday and Wednesdays. I just kind of wanted to know, like, when it was going to be discussed, like, ahead of time, so we know, because, like, when y'all voted in October, nobody in the room knew about it. No, I didn't know about it. No, I didn't know y'all were talking about it at all. Now I've been able to communicate with some of the commissioners to be able to know what's going on. I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page and where everything's going, if we're not able to make a meeting.
It's on YouTube, and I'm sure you